If you pay close enough attention, you'd have noticed how the locations are one of the most vital parts of MrBeast's content. To some extent, the abandoned rare locations where he turns his wild ideas into reality are just as important as any challenge he hosts. But have you ever wondered what became of those locations after everything was over? Stay with us in this video to find out as we reveal what happened to MrBeast's abandoned locations. Over the years, MrBeast has built a reputation for organizing some of the most outrageous challenges in places you'd never even think of. And in early 2024, he raised the bar with one of his craziest ideas yet, surviving 7 days in Kupari, an abandoned village in Croatia. Sounds wild, right? Well, it was. This scary, forgotten coastal spot, which used to be a luxurious vacation destination challenge, became one of YouTube's most watched survival challenges. MrBeast titled the challenge, "I survived 7 days in an abandoned city," and trust us, it wasn't just for the views. The crew spent an entire week in Kupari, a village that once hosted glamorous tourists in its 7 grand hotels. These weren't your average motels. These hotels were stunning in their prime, with the oldest dating back to 1920. Unfortunately, the Balkan War in the 1990s left the area in ruins. Bombed and abandoned, it's been sitting quiet ever since the early 2000s, slowly being reclaimed by nature. For the challenge, MrBeast's crew camped out in the crumbling remains of the hotels, and let's just say it wasn't an easy challenge. On the first night, things got creepy with the sound of glass shattering. Turns out it was just a prank by fellow YouTuber MrBeast, who joined in on the adventure. But the real trouble came when someone accidentally dropped half of their water supply off a roof. With limited resources, 2 members of the crew had to leave early. Despite the drama, MrBeast and MrBeast stuck it out with the remaining team. The physical challenges of living in the ruins were rough, but MrBeast later admitted that the real struggle was dealing with the crushing loneliness of the abandoned village. In the end, the team survived the 7 days and left Kupari exactly how they found it, empty and eerie. After the crew went back home, Kupari returned to its quiet, forgotten state. The viral video didn't spark any massive changes for the location. While a few curious tourists were interested in Kupari after the video, their visits were fleeting. The remote location and lack of amenities meant the village didn't see any major influx of visitors. For a brief moment, Kupari was thrust into the spotlight thanks to MrBeast, but it didn't take long for the attention to fade. Kupari today is still as abandoned as ever, with nature continuing to creep in and reclaim the space. It still remains a ghost town stuck in time. Moving on to another weird but interesting location that MrBeast turned into an adventure, let's talk about October 2024, when he and his crew spent 7 unforgettable days in a 1,000-year-old salt mine in Romania called Salina Turda. Now, this wasn't just any old mine. It's basically an underground city with a Ferris wheel, a mini golf course, an underground lake, and undiscovered tunnels waiting to be explored. Seriously, Salina Turda has so much going on, it's hard to believe it's all underground. For starters, there's a bar fully stocked and ready for you to kick back and relax. There's a table tennis setup and a soccer field down there, if you're ever feeling sporty. And if you don't feel like walking everywhere, there's a lift system to take you around this subterranean wonderland. It's a mix of fun, history, and a little bit of, I can't believe this is real. Of course, MrBeast and his team took full advantage of the setting. They were spotted playing mini-golf in the underground course, and it looked like they were having a good time. They even found the perfect camping spot for the night, surrounded by the mine's scary yet magical vibes. If that wasn't enough, they explored the underground lake, hopping onto one of the boats still laying around from when part of the mine served as a water park. How cool is that? The exploration didn't stop there. The crew wandered through tunnels and, in true MrBeast fashion, explored a random hole and found an amphitheater that looked like it was built for some interesting underground performances. Right next to it was a Ferris wheel that gave them an incredible view of the whole underground city. They even kicked a soccer ball around in the underground field, making the most of this hidden location. After MrBeast and his crew ended their 7-day adventure in Salina Turda in October 2024, the salt mine experienced a surge in global attention. The viral video showcased the unique attractions of Salina Turda, including its underground Ferris wheel, mini golf course, and subterranean lake, captivating audiences worldwide. This heightened exposure led to an increase in visitors eager to explore the underground marvel. Now, the management of Selina Turda has big plans to accommodate future growth. An expansion project is set to commence in 2025, aiming to double the number of visitors between 1.2 million and 1.5 million annually. In the meantime, Selina Turda continues to operate as a popular tourist destination, offering its unique blend of history and entertainment to guests from around the globe. While Selina Turda is getting a major upgrade, MrBeast's $1 yacht? Well, that's a whole other story. On June 11th, 2023, MrBeast dropped a legendary video called $1 versus $1 million yacht, where he compared everything from a barely afloat $1 boat to a jaw-dropping $1 million luxury yacht. Of course, they started with a $1 yacht, and wow, it didn't disappoint when it came to living up to its price tag. Why was it so cheap, you ask? Well, the seller said the storage fees were just piling up. So naturally, MrBeast and his crew couldn't resist putting this boat to the test. Spoiler alert, it didn't last long. The moment the boat hit the water, it sank pretty quickly. Now, here's the big question. What happened to that $1 yacht after it went down for the last time? Well, that's where Circle H Scuba, a diving YouTuber, comes in. He wasn't about to let this mystery go unsolved. After diving down to the wreckage, he found the yacht, which was soggy wood at this point. "Guys, we found it! The $1 yacht is still chilling at the bottom of the lake," he announced. And to top it off, he even found some remnants of MrBeast's crew's filming gear, like GoPro mounts, still hanging onto the wreck. What about the yacht itself? Well, it was a disaster waiting to happen. The frame, wood. The floor, plywood. The overall vibe? A safety hazard. Inside, it was clear why this thing sank so fast. Loose nails, broken boards, and stray wiring everywhere. A whole year later, Circle H decided to revisit the wreck, only to find parts of it gone. It turns out divers had been swiping bits of the yacht as souvenirs, because honestly, who wouldn't want a soggy piece of YouTube history? Classic. You might think a yacht is wild, but how about an entire island? Let's take it back to August 2020 when MrBeast dropped an island-themed video titled "I paid $730,000 for this island." He followed it up with the unforgettable "Last to leave $800,000 island keeps it." Chandler took home the prize after an intense challenge, but he decided to take the cash instead of the island. So, the island still belonged to MrBeast, and what did he do with it? He turned it into yet another wild challenge, this time for YouTuber Matthew Beam. Matthew's mission was simple: find a treasure chest buried somewhere on MrBeast's massive island. Armed with nothing but determination and a solid dose of survival instincts, Matthew and his team set off to explore the island, battling harsh terrain and even building their own shelters. As they ventured deeper into the jungle, they couldn't shake the spooky feeling that something or someone was following them. After hours of searching, Matthew finally spotted a clue. 3 trees marked with pink tape, set in a triangle formation. Sure enough, the treasure chest was buried right there. But here's the thing. The treasure chest wasn't filled with gold or some other insane prize, but rather, inside it was sand and a note that said, "Congratulations, now subscribe to MrBeast." Classic MrBeast move, right? The moral of the story? The treasure's in the journey. Oh, and in helping MrBeast gain even more subscribers. But that's not the only time MrBeast has conducted an island challenge. Back on August 5th, 2022, when MrBeast hit the huge milestone of 100 million subscribers, he celebrated this milestone by giving away a private island. Of course. But wait, it gets crazier. He invited 100 fans to compete in insane challenges, with the last one walking away with the island. But what happened to that island after the challenge? Well, YouTuber Darat wasn't content with just hearing about it, so he decided to go full Mission Impossible mode and sneak into it. Yeah, really, getting to the island wasn't exactly easy. After arriving in Nassau, Bahamas, Darat realized this island wasn't easy to get to. It was in the middle of nowhere. But with the help of a small, slightly sketchy plane, and after what seemed like an endless adventure, Darat finally spotted it: MrBeast's island! After making it to the island, Darat uncovered a crazy twist. Apparently, Mallory, the winner of the island challenge, didn't actually keep the island. Instead of taking the island, she chose a massive cash prize. She later told Darat, "It completely changed my life." And what happened to the island? Well, it ended up right back in MrBeast's hands. Yep, the island was still his, to do what he wanted. When Darat finally stepped foot on the island, he couldn't contain his excitement. "Jimmy, I'm on your island!" he shouted, exploring the spots from the original video. He found the same faded helipad, the bonfire area where contestants burned their $50,000 checks, and even the pretty gross pool. And of course, Darrett had to take a dive into that swampy water. He found out the hard way that it wasn't a good idea. But hey, it's all part of the madness that's MrBeast's world. Wrapping things up, we've got MrBeast's Minecraft server. When MrBeast launched his very own Minecraft server, people were all in. The community was thriving, players were hyped, and the whole thing was buzzing with activity. But as it goes with MrBeast, he quickly moved on to bigger and crazier projects. He left the Minecraft server to run on its own, not realizing it would slowly transform into an absolute chaos zone over the next 3 years. It became a digital Wild West where anything goes and the rules were, well, non-existent. A full-on subculture began to form, and players clung to the hope that one day MrBeast would return. But he didn't. Despite the original video getting a jaw-dropping 22 million views, the server's activity started to fizzle out, and it eventually reached a low point: 0 players online. That's when FitMC, a Minecraft YouTuber, got curious and decided to take a trip into this abandoned digital wasteland. FitMC ventured into the eerie remains of the server, where once familiar biomes were now twisted into wild, unrecognizable landscapes. He came across crumbling landmarks and even MrBeast's original bedrock trap. The real crown star of FitMC's journey was the Omega Pyramid. This massive obsidian monument, made up of over 600,000 blocks, took months and countless hours of labor to build. As FitMC explored the area, he found remnants of TNT used by bombers to terraform the surroundings. After a crazy climb that almost broke the game, FitMC finally reached the top, where he found a single block of bedrock. This block wasn't just any block, it was a trophy left behind by MrBeast's admin, Pluto Wren. While the Omega Pyramid didn't magically summon MrBeast back to the server, FitMC's video sparked something special. It went viral, reigniting interest in the server and breathing life back into the community. What do you think about MrBeast's abandoned locations? Let us know in the comments section and enjoy our other videos.